top shot blocker in the country, will be a big challenge in the paint for South Carolina, a team accustomed to having the advantage inside. That won't necessarily be the case here tonight. It is the gold standard. South Carolina, their 60th game featuring two top 10 teams. Dawn Staley, 42-7, the very first time in this position for TCU.
And Mark Campbell talked to us about that. It's the first time we've been in this type of environment during the week. So much excitement surrounding his team. Wanted to try to keep them locked in and focused.
Already with wins over NC State and Notre Dame. And Van Lit's first shot will come up short. Kitts with the rebound. Both coaches stress the importance of getting on the glass tonight. Pow Pow, honorable mention All-American last year, enjoying her best season. Started out at Oregon playing for TCU head coach Mark Campbell when he was an assistant there. He had a big hand in her recruitment, and now on opposite sides. And that's where Prince has really set herself apart from a lot of bigs. At 6'7", Stephanie, hard to contest her jumpers.
Yeah, her ability to pick and pop, her ability to get into the short roll. And when think about South Carolina, they've got a
undefeated, the 5th program ever to do that. And to beat Iowa and Caitlin Clark for the championship. The same group that had knocked them out in the Final Four the year prior to that.
Yeah, get the switch, take advantage of that.
Oh, Prince missed the gimme. Bree Hall off the bounce. Wide open look for Raven Johnson. Those are the shots. Starters the last 2 years, 4 of them coming in this year out of the transfer portal for Mark Campbell. 12
transfers added to this program in the last 2 years, 6 and 6. And Mark Campbell said we wanted to get old and we wanted to get talent. And the best way to do that was get in the portal.
And that's how you win fast in this new day and age. There's a look at Mark. Last year, 13 more wins than the year prior. That was the best improvement for a first-year coach in the Power.
Carolina, one of the best in the country at 18 offensive rebounds a ball game. Got to be disciplined in your ability to make contact.
Prince with Watkins defending. Hunter front rims that one. Raven Johnson with her head up. Not a team that relies a lot on their three-point shooting. Really good off the bounce to get into the lane. In SEC play this season. And there's a possibility, depending on how the rankings shuffle throughout the season, that they could play 15 games. Half of their schedule could be against ranked teams this year.
It's incredible, the schedule that Dawn Staley and her staff have put together. The challenges that they've set themselves up for. And she talked about that UCLA matchup earlier in the season and just how they got exposed. And UCLA certainly played really well, but what this team...
Van Lith, she really thinks Malaysia could be spectacular at that end as well.
She doesn't think she's reaching her potential on the defensive end of the floor, but she's so creative in her finishes. Just getting efficient in how you're attacking the basket is going to be a growth edge for her.
Here's Connor. Johnson, they'll go over the top of all the screens with her. At least that's the game plan today if she misses there.
And that's what South Carolina will live with, making her hit tough twos off the dribble. They don't want to allow any catching they want.
Have that chicken from Popeyes.
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold or Flu Fizzy Chews. Chew, fizz, feel better fast. No water needed. New Alka-Seltzer Plus Fizzy Chews.
Real important, Mark Campbell was telling us to keep things close in the first quarter to give his team some confidence. They've been doing so well on the defensive end through the first.
They want.
Have that chicken from Popeyes.
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold or Flu Fizzy Chews. Chew, fizz, feel better fast. No water needed. New Alka-Seltzer Plus Fizzy Chews.
Real important, Mark Campbell was telling us to keep things close in the first quarter to give his team some confidence. They've been doing so well on the defensive end through the first.
There are capable three-point shooters on the perimeter as well.
Watkins swatted by Prince. And then the steal by Watkins to take it right back. Prince giving chase. And Watkins with the dunk for South Carolina. The breakaway jam for Ashland. For the Gamecocks, so they're running with a couple of point guards right now. Speed to get the ball up the court quickly. McDaniel weaving. She'll take it all the way. No good. Rebound, Prince. What a start to our top 10 matchup. The
quick little pin down. Worked on this today and shoot around. No hesitation. Tessa Johnson was so big for them in the NCAA tournament a year ago. That experience, that confidence that you go into an offseason with and train with for an entire offseason. You can see it in her game.
And she was on the all-Final Four team last year in that big championship game. Pow on the drive. Got it. Sedona Prince has one block so far, but the paint already. Van Lith, the lob inside to Prince, tried to one-time it, may have gotten blocked by Pow. Fagan with the position, and they beat the big girl down the floor. And Carolina having its way. I think there's going to be a foul there on Fagan.
When you play 10-11 deep.
Matchup.
I called that game last year. It was so much fun. Hannah Hidalgo was a doll. I mean, she is a doll, but in that game, boy, she just took over. That is such a fun rivalry to watch.
They tuned up by beating Syracuse today. Their three stars all had 20-point double-doubles. And, of course, UConn looked really good in their win over Louisville.
And how great is it to see AZ Flood?
Johnson rattles in her second three of the day. Prince knocked away by Watkins. Van Lith able to save it. Connor sidesteps for a three. And so far, South Carolina has been able to take away.
Those are the ones right there. I think Dawn Staley would prefer Malaysia Fulwiley to attack.
Yes.
Right, it's a contested three. She's got terrific quickness.
Nice baseline dive there, and the dump off for Connor to Robertson.
And I love this 90 cut from the...
At TCU wondering who's going to help Haley Van Lith. She's the only player with more than 3 points.
Yeah, and she is getting it done right now for TCU. We'll discuss it more at the break. In the meantime, Stephanie and Beth.
Years from losing that Iowa game in the Final Four against Caitlin Clark, and then coming back for redemption last year at the Final Four against Clark.
And not just losing, Beth, but really being challenged and exposed from the three-point line, right? And last year was her revenge tour. And a revenge tour she certainly had. But then the ability to come back and back that up. In the last three games, she's been shooting the ball much better. Her point production has continued to go up. So as Dawn Staley mentioned, she's coming along.
Van Lith, Fulwiley went underneath. And that'll stay at this end.
And Mark Campbell switching it up to the zone. South Carolina doing a good job of shifting the zone. And then Bree Hall running free on the baseline.
That's a really good sign for South Carolina if they are shooting more threes and making more threes. Hits, travel, walked with it after the high post flash.
And we talked about South Carolina's defense, and their numbers are not used to what we're seeing from a South Carolina program. And again, it's figuring it out again with no post player there protecting the paint for you. It's going to come like this, a lot of on-ball defensive discipline pressure. And Malaysia Fulwiley, you said it, she's used to the spectacular play. I can't wait for that one. That's going to be such an exciting game. Guard play galore.
Hall. Joyce Edwards rattles it in. The freshman from Camden, South Carolina, with her first basket.
So much great young talent, but what I like most about watching Joyce Edwards is she just doesn't force anything. She's poised, she lets the game come to her. Turnovers, using that defense to fuel their offense, and as Dawn Staley said, we're just learning to play a little bit differently. Their help side has been terrific, their on-ball pressure has been terrific, and that has allowed them to find advantages in the paint in transition.
How about our game track, brought to you by Mercury Insurance? It was a well-balanced attack in that first half for South Carolina. Everybody got involved. They turned them over more times than they allowed TCU to score buckets. They were in and Fagan, she stays in the game with 3 fouls. Pow Pow on the drive with Prince pulled away from the rim. Gets the layup.
South Carolina likes that action where they throw it off the block just a little bit, set the split screen for Pow Pow to come off with a 3-point shooting opportunity or a rim attack.
Bigby gets it back from Prince. Long rebound to Hunter, and then Johnson with the quick hands. Numbers here for Carolina. Pow Pow wants it, gave it up. Van Lith wanted the two-man game with Prince. Had a shooter weak side as well.
She did, and Bigby had a 45-degree cut right to the rim for a layup.
Boy, if you're a Carolina fan, you're loving the offense from Raven Johnson and Malaysia Fawiley trying to bust out of slumps tonight.
Now Raven
already with a big dunk in the first half for Ashlyn Watkins. I think the other thing too, Stephanie, we're seeing there is still in this day of transfer portals something to be said for teams that stay together, that players that stick around 3 or 4 years together to execute the way that South Carolina is tonight. Sometimes it's the decision making too. Yes. She had a drop off to Haley Van Lith to her right there for a wide open transition 3.
And the timing of the decision making.
Yep. Short on the shot and a whistle.
But you mentioned the struggles for Madison Connor. This tremendous defensive effort, keeping her off balance, not allowing her to do, getting it done on the defensive end as well. And Raven Johnson, she's been slowly climbing in terms of her numbers.
He picked up, hard to say, they picked up a Big Ten win today over Washington, the new world we live in. Hey, it's the 30th annual Jimmy V Classic, and it returns to Madison Square Garden Tuesday night on ESPN and the app. Miami taking on Tennessee, then Michigan and Arkansas, John Calipari's bunch. Always a great night for a great cause. To donate to the Jimmy V Foundation, go to v.org. The number 2 recruit coming out of high school this year, behind UConn's Sarah Strong, who had another good effort in the Huskies win over Louisville. Don't forget Thursday night, UConn at Notre Dame. An early Christmas present for everybody. Connor off the crossover. And the pick for Wiley.
As you just mentioned, UCLA, USC, Washington, Oregon in the Big Ten, and Cal and Stanford in the ACC.
Well, we've already seen, too, the emergence of teams like TCU. How about Maryland, still undefeated? How about Michigan State? Another win today. They're still undefeated.
And the movement that happens because of the transfer portal, and you get players like at Maryland.
Is in the house tonight to watch the game. Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston, Arike Gumbawale, Satu Sabali. I think I saw Natasha Cloud, Izzy Harrison.
Big time.
Yes.
Checking out this action on a Sunday. At times we're teasing Aaliyah is so involved at times it sounds like a 3-man booth tonight. I don't know if
now
she picks up a paycheck for this or not, but She's been coaching up her team.
She's been coaching up her team. She's been coaching up the officials. I know that she works in television.
This is the second unit for South Carolina, which could be the starting 5 in most other places. That's the kind of depth they have played with to open up the season. Pow, pow, behind the back, and the teardrop.
We haven't called her name very often, here this evening, but Tahina Pow Pow returned to South Carolina for another year to continue to develop. Dawn Staley, Olivia Miles, and Hannah Hidalgo, primary ball handlers, secondary ball handlers.
There's your top 10. It'll change a bit tomorrow. The new poll comes out every Monday. Of course, Texas picked up a loss this week, but then followed it up with a win. And TCU will suffer a loss here tonight. Been a heck of a start, though, around Fort Worth, as you can see by the crowd. An amazing turnout to watch this team beating ranked. Dawn Staley was preaching with the guards today at shoot-around. Go right at her, go right into her. Get into the body, don't bob and weave your way to the rim. Attack it, and they've done that tonight. That's the 3rd foul on Prince. And are they excited about Maddie McDaniel? When Dawn calls you the consummate point guard, I don't know if there's a higher compliment than that.
And the word...
Tough shot. There goes Aaliyah Boston.
Talking to the officials.
Yep, first as a referee, then as a cheerleader.
Yeah, and coach, talking good rotation.
That's got to be a source of pride, isn't it, when you hear your former players
Oh, yeah.
that involved and that aware of the high basketball IQ?
Absolutely. And she was just in
4th and final quarter. McDaniel, Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. All kinds of good stuff coming your way. And hey, look, she's already getting ready. She's doing her homework. Lisa Salter's in the house tonight.
Getting that homework done, getting ready.
Yeah.
I want to know what your favorite Simpsons quote is. You got to have a Homer or a Bart in there somewhere, right?
I mean, Doe is the, regionals in Birmingham and Spokane this year. Final 4 down in Tampa.
Return to some warm weather.
Oh, yeah. That's always good.
Yes, it is.
Prince will check out. She's getting ready for some big showdowns in the paint around the Big 12.
Sure is.
Van Lith comes with the double. And Deja Merrill now into the ball game for TCU. As is Miriam Dowda. She gets the rebound there for the Gamecocks. Dowda.
And you can see Dawn Staley shoot the first one. When you're in the rhythm, take the rhythm shot.
Coach Staley, it's my birthday. Can I get a picture? Those 3 national championships, 5-time National Coach of the Year. Played and won Olympic gold, coached the United States to Olympic gold.
And I know it's been a long time because she's in her 17th season in South Carolina, but where this program was when she inherited it,
Yep.
and how she built it step by step.
The balance was there. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 12 have gotten into the game. 10 have scored. For Wiley with a rejection.
You could just see her running down the floor, getting ready to time
Yep.
this the entire time. She's checking it, she's timing it. No change in pace from Robertson, and then the big smile afterward.
Now off. And the Gamecock fans on their feet applauding this big road win. 85-52, your final. As number 3 South Carolina takes down number 9 TCU. The